Hi everyone, as a group 3, today we will present part D, Organizational Risk Analysis for FedEx Airline Cargo Logistics. Here is the outline of our presentation. Each section is completed by a different group member. I will present the cover page and the contents. Then Francisca will present the executive summary and Brandon will present company introduction. I will continue with the hazard risk and its key risk indicators. Then Brandon will present operational risk and its key risk indicators. Then Constantino will present financial risk and its key risk indicators. Then Francisca will present strategic risk and its key risk indicators. And then Constantino will present the risk register. And lastly, Brandon will present the conclusion part and then references. Now I will pass it over to Francisca.
This is our executive summary. It outlines series.
Introduction to company. FedEx was founded by Frederick W. Smith in 1971. Operations began in Little Rock, Arkansas, USA, and now has its central headquarters in Memphis, which is their major logistics hub. FedEx operates in over 220 countries and territories around the globe. The company is one of the top tier providers of transportation and logistics services, with a key focus on global operations. The airline division for FedEx encumbers more than 650 aircraft carriers, and its air fleet is one of the most expansive in the cargo industry.
Thank you, Brandon. On this slide, I will be presenting two hazard risks. Risk 1 is extreme weather. The risk starts as an inherent risk with a likelihood of 5 and impact 5. After applying control action 1, which is a winter shipping schedule, the risk becomes a residual moderate risk with a likelihood of 3 and impact of 3. Then applying control action 2, which is weather proof packing, and the risk is lowered to a target low risk with a likelihood of 1 and impact of 1. The risk 2 is workplace accidents. This also begins an inherent high risk with a likelihood of 5 and impact of 5. After applying control action 1, which is a safety equipment, the risk drops to a residual risk with a likelihood of 3 and impact of 3. Then applying control action 2, which is better workplace organization, it reduces the target risk with a likelihood of 1 and impact of 1. Now I will talk about the key risk indicators for hazard risk. For risk 1, severe weather, number of delays delayed due to weather conditions, and number of packages damaged due to weather conditions. And for the risk 2, the key risk indicators are number of accidents during a specific work period and number of employees using safety equipment, and also we can say frequency of work-related accidents. Now I will pass it over to Francisca.
Operational risks. This risk map illustrates how two operational risks, which is workforce and technology, move through 3 stages of risk management. Each risk begins at its inherent level in the top right quadrant, where both likelihood and impact are quite high. After applying the first set of control actions, which is cross-training for workforce and system upgrades for technology, each risk shifts to residual moderate level in the center of the map. This shows reduced impact and likelihood. A second set of controls, which is labor agreements for workforce and backup systems for technology, further lowers both risks to the target low risk zone in the bottom left quadrant. Overall, the map demonstrates how layered controls progressively reduce operational risks from high to moderate to low. There are 2 key risk indicators for operational risk. Risk 1 is workforce. Workforce is mitigated through cross-training to ensure coverage during absences and labor agreements to stabilize staffing levels. Risk 2 would be technology. Technology is addressed by implementing system upgrades to reduce failures and establishing backup systems to maintain operations during disruptions. Together, these controls help reduce both risks to acceptable levels.
On this slide, I will be presenting 2 main financial risks. Risk 1, logistic costs, are when, for example, the price of the gas goes up or down depending on the market conditions. This risk starts at inherent risk of likelihood 5, impact 5, With the control action 1 creating a more detailed schedule, the risk becomes a residual risk with likelihood 3, impact 3. Then we apply a control action 2, planes investment, and we lower the risk to a target risk with likelihood 1, impact 1. Same thing happens with risk 2, cargo repair planes, where we apply control action 1, which is data maintenance plans. This lowers the risk from inherent with likelihood 5, impact 5 to residual risk with likelihood 3, impact 3. Then we apply a control action number 2, replacement of all planes, which lowers the risk to target with likelihood 1, impact 1. As we can see in this slide, there are two key risk indicators for each of the two financial risks. For risk 1, we can monitor weekly cost fluctuations against the planned logistics budget. We can also watch fuel price changes and compare them to threshold levels that affect total logistics spending. For risk 2, we can track unplanned maintenance activities and compare them with the maintenance plan. And we can also record total time planes are grounded for repairs.
Good evening, my name is Francisca and I'll be presenting
This is the risk register. Here we keep track of how the different risks on each category move after applying control action 1 and 2. For example, on the hazard risk severe weather, we can see how after applying the control action 1, which is shipping schedule, the risk moves from being inherent with likelihood 5, impact 5 to being a residual risk with likelihood 3, impact 3. Then, after implementing control action 2, weatherproof packing, the risk moves from being residual with likelihood 3, impact 3 to being a target risk with likelihood 1, impact 1. Now, for the speculative risks, we are going to explain the financial risk logistics cost. This risk starts with likelihood 5, impact 5, and after applying control action 1 detailed schedule, we can see how the risk moves and becomes a residual risk with likelihood 3, impact 3. The second control action, new planes investment, moves the risk from being residual with likelihood 3, impact 3, to being a target risk with likelihood 1, impact 1.
To wrap it up, the conclusion. FedEx Airline Cargo and Logistics manages a wide range of operational, financial, strategic, and hazard risks. This is done through strong planning and consistent oversight. By maintaining clear structures, the company is very well positioned to respond to challenges and support performance across its global market. The 3 references we used for Part D are listed above.